All right, guys, January 31, about 9 o'clock, maybe a little after 9 o'clock in the morning. Back out here at the property. I got the boring details for you. I don't know. I feel like sometimes my details might not be something some of you are interested in, and then some of you who are building and might be interested in some of these details. So we recap a little bit. We got the plans back, the building permit approved, but they made a few adjustments to our calculations, and some of those things are going to cost us a lot of money. Stuff that wasn't in the budget kind of added up. Roger said, oh, you're going to have that kind of insulation, that's going to be more than we were planning, we didn't have that thick of insulation. Or there was a couple of other things that was kind of like, well, it wasn't going to cost us a lot of extra money, but it was going to cost us more money. So a few things were kind of adding up. So I talked to Valentina that night and I said, hey, Roger said these, a couple things going on. And so, again, we revisited the fact, what's the reason we moved here? And it was to do a homestead. It was to have animals. It was to grow a garden. And that was like our primary, most important thing. And if we build a house and get lucky and have enough money to finish it all, we still wouldn't have money left over for infrastructure to build our, homestead, our idea of what we want to farm, homestead, whatever you want to call it, living off the land and providing a lot more of ourselves food. So we got to talking about things and kind of went back to an old plan, or started researching an old thing we used to talk about, was a modular shell. There's a place here near us that sells modular shells, so it's framed, but nothing done inside, no plumbing, no electrical, no drywall, none of that. So we started doing a little research on that. And then, he said it was, the guy that's selling it says it's built to North Carolina code, building code. He had blueprints and all kinds of stuff that were ready for the county if they wanted it. So that sounded really encouraging. Roger and I went to South Carolina yesterday to a manufacturer. We thought he was a manufacturer, but in fact what they were doing was ordering modular shells and then building the inside out according to what people ordered. So, but then again, we saw a tag on those homes. This is not intended for residential use. So we did talk to the guy that was building them out on the inside. He's not the owner, he's kind of the contractor. Some of his work was a little shoddy, a little bit not following code as well. And it appeared that it's going to be kind of hard to get a hold of the owner to answer questions. So after running around yesterday and talking to a few shed people and stuff and just finding out nothing's built to code, the manufactured homes we didn't go to because they're a finished product and they're mostly out of our price range. And one of the requirements is that when you get a modular shell or a manufactured home, it also has to come with a foundation plan. What is the foundation required? And that's what the county's wanting. You can't just put whatever foundation you want. You can't just put a crawl space or whatever. You have to do what comes with the manufactured home. Well, a lot of them, we were finding out, weren't coming with a specific plan. So in that case, I was told by the county I need to hire an engineer to draw up a plan. I can't do that. I have to hire an engineer. On top of that, the shells are not in the county that I live in, that our property is in. So I asked, can the inspector come to the lot and inspect this shell before I buy it, that it's up to code and everything that I need for my county. And the inspector won't go outside of their county to inspect anything. So I would have to hire a private inspector to come out and inspect. And I said, it's still not 100% guaranteed, but it looks good and that they can work with that. So I'd have to hire another person to do that. Oh, and the other thing too is that we actually plan on putting, we're planning on putting it right here. And it's not an easy roll off onto a pad or onto a crawl space raised foundation like we're going to do for our house. We would have to crane it, and that would actually add another couple $1,000 at least for cranes to come in here and pick it up and put it on a foundation, or at least pick it up and put it there, and then we would have to jack it up and build the foundation up underneath it. So there was just a lot of hoops. So when I went to the county yesterday and I talked to them, I said, you guys are forcing me to basically build my house. It's really hard to do unless I had a perfectly flat piece of property or I was in a mobile home park or whatever. And she says, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, but I do tell everybody it's just better to build your house, especially in this county. You know, what was so attractive to the finished product was we were going to be able to fast forward. That's what we were wanting, fast forward, cut out time. Yes, we're going to pay a little bit more than if we built it ourselves, but we thought fast forward and get in it, get out of our rental, and ends up, you know, if it costs us a few $1,000s more, how much we're spending on our rental would equal that. Well, after doing the math and doing a lot of stuff, it just didn't, the time saved is not making sense for us to follow that way. So what I'm saying is I think we're going to end up building maybe something about a 14 by 40 ourselves here, because then I get to draw my own plans for the foundation. We get to draw our own plans for our floor plan and how we're going to do everything to code and what we're doing. And it's so much easier to get it approved by the county. And then we're not having to crane anything. We're not having to do anything. We're just putting it right here, you know, and building it up from the ground. So there's a lot of freedoms that come and a lot of ease, a lot more ease of doing it and building it ourselves. But the trade-off is we're going to take more time to get dried in and take more time to have a completed residence that we can move into. That said, because we're sacrificing the time and going ahead and saying, okay, it's going to take us longer, we're going to save a lot of money. So something like we were looking at this modular shell to be transparent on prices. It was 14 by 32 or something like that. And it was about $25,000. Well, according to Roger, he thinks we can build that for about $15,000. He says if we get kind of a finished off shell that's a 14 by 40, just drywalled in and all that stuff, no fixtures, but maybe the plumbing and electricals ran. Looking at probably 75 to 80,000 at least for something like that. And for us to build it ourselves, we can build it for less than 50. So we're going to save, you know, money. It's just going to take time. So, but less time than our big house that was going to take me over a year. So we're hoping this could be done maybe in 6 months. It's a projected guess and hoping that that's going to be the case. So what's next now is that we need to we got to start all over from scratch. We have to start fill out all the paperwork all over again, apply for a new building permit, and we are going to be allowed to tie into our well and our septic that we were already approved for. We have to upgrade the septic to a 3-bedroom on the permit, so that's a couple $100 extra. But other than that, we're going to be able to tie into existing stuff. This is our building pad for our big house that you guys have seen many, many times. And we're just going to put the other home right here is the plan. So I found out that if you call it a guest house, you can't live in it full time. Because I called it a guest house. I told them we want to build a guest house. They said you can't live in that full time. But an accessory house you can. It's your second home on your property. So I guess we're saying it's an accessory home. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. A couple days ago, I just took a stick and drew on the ground. That's about 14 by 32. So we want to add another 8 feet or so, just to give ourselves. It's going to be a very small home. I think it's going to be in the vicinity of about 500 square feet, something like that. Pretty small, but it's going to be okay for us. It's going to be good enough, and that'll get us on the property, like I said, and living here. And Val can commute to work instead of me being an hour on the road, coming here and going back. I will have more time on the land, more time on the property. And when she gets to the house, she can help me if I have some projects that need to be finished up for the day. So once this gets built and gets going, we'll be moving over here and continuing to work on this very slowly with no haste, no pressure, no got to get it done and worrying about money and time and all that stuff. It's going to be it's going to be more enjoyable. And building this small home here, will warm me up for that one, and I'll learn stuff and I'll be able to do a lot more of it on my own instead of needing help. and I'll hone my skills on this one and then have it really dialed in for our big house. So I do have some things that I need to get done. I need to get well, there are a few things I have on my list that need to get done, but it's been a while since I've been out here and just did some good old-fashioned work. The last thing I did was the sheds about a week and a half ago. Finished those up and then put these water totes a couple days ago, but that was not much. So I want to maybe go over here and finish up this wood pile. Finish cutting up the wood and the brush that's over there. Has nothing to do with this project, has nothing to... I wanted to start cutting the pad or just start warming up on that, but it's still muddy and wet, and I was like, I just need a day to get out here and get my, hands dirty. I need to get out here and do some work, and then I can go back to doing the busy work and the research and the whatever, but I need to touch base and get out here. So that's going to be our plan today, is probably cutting some wood. All right, guys, about 10:47, and I'm just getting over to this pile. Wanted to show kind of what's it look like from the top. Yeah, I shot some shorts. Keep an eye out for that. Shorts on YouTube. Thought I'd start doing a couple little quick DIY beginner videos for those who are just starting out. Maybe pick up a couple little helpful hints if you don't really if you've never done what you're about to do before. I'm trying to give a little bit of information there that might help you a little bit. So yeah, this is what we're going to start on. I really hope I can finish it today, but every time I've said that, it doesn't happen. So anyway, we're going to get started on it now. All right, guys, I am a happy man. Finally, we finished. I finished. Me, myself, and I. That's all that's left of brush. I need to do a burn pile at some point. Got all the woods cut. Yeah, I'm so happy. But when we come over here, like I said before, there's always going to be wood to cut, but there's some still big branches and stuff where the guy knocked the tree over, but he never pulled them over. So when I have one of those days where I'm like, I just need to get something done, feel like I get something done, all over this property, even over there on her property, I could still be cutting some of this stuff and cleaning it up. So we have ample supply of firewood, but I am so happy. I've been trying to get this done for a while, so yeah. All right, guys, it's getting on toward the end of the evening. I think it's still like maybe it's about 4 o'clock. Sun's still in the sky, but I'm wrapping it up. Started working on this pad for the next house. I bet you guys are tired of watching that after me doing that all the time. Now I got to do this one. I have no idea what the measurements are going to be or anything, but I was here and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and start clearing this down and pulling it down. So I did a little bit of cleaning up over there. I took a few things, and every time I'm out here, I'll just kind of start cleaning that area. One concern I have is up there where the blue flags are. I don't know if you can see them or not. One of those two places we're thinking about putting a well. And I think a truck is going to have to pull in right here in order to do mine, or that one over there too, Val's. So something we're going to have to talk about. Maybe get the well guy and tell him, say, hey, we need this done so we can build this house because we're going to be in the way. I don't know. So did that. Put a few things over by the shed, and then this frame from that canopy, I just broke it in pieces, and I'm going to throw it in the dumpster at where I live. So there's a nice sized dumpster there. And it's been a long time since I've gotten diesel, but I'm down to half a tank now, so I thought I'd go ahead and get that too, because when I'm clearing land, I usually use quite a bit of diesel in a day. So I only have about a half tank, and I know that won't last me a day. So anyway, don't know if I'll come out here tomorrow. We'll see. Val has that first of the month thing where at Sam's Club, all the managers, leads, they all have to be in at 4 o'clock in the morning. So she's going to be having to go to bed late or early tonight, and then get up super early in the morning, but she's done by 12:30. So we'll see how we work that all out. I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys the next time I'm out here.